Jim, I told you I was going to get back to your question. I think you asked a really good question, and Karen, I'll give you the option if you want to go first or you want to go after me on this one. So, how do you handle a narcissist on the stand? A lot of times we use the word narcissist in a situation where they potentially lie, or they morph or change their story around, or are willing to just flat out lie. So how do you, if the opposing party is kind of slippery and isn't being 100% truthful, what are some things that can be done to make the judge aware of that?
Well, I think preparation is key, like I said, and that's why we go through all the text messages and emails, because in order to prove that the person's lying, you need to have something to present to them. And I think cross-examination is key with a narcissist, because they're not prepared for the questions that you're going to ask them. And you have to be able to disprove what they're saying. And a lot of times they'll say something and then you show them a text message or an email, and they're so far gone that they don't even remember sending them, or that you're going to have that evidence. So I think that's when you're dealing with somebody like that, you need to print up every single communication and comb through them in detail and then get them on cross-examination.
One of my favorites. This is probably my favorite tip on this specific topic that a mentor in terms of litigation taught me. And if someone plays fast and loose with the truth, especially on cross-examination, don't go chronologically. You can bounce around, go from point to point. It's much easier for someone who's going to be slippery on the stand to keep the story flowing from start to finish. But if you go to, say, incident number 5, and then you go to incident number 2, and then maybe you go to number 3 and back to number 1, it makes it hard for them to keep their story straight. So that's one of my favorite things in terms of cross-examination is you don't have to go chronologically. And if you make it about specific events and, as Karen had said, you actually have the receipts, you have the proof to be able to, in legal terms, we call it, impeach them, prove that they're lying, go event by event that you can catch them lying, not chronologically. So that's something that's worked for me, that was taught to me that I would say is something that has been very effective with those that are fast and loose with the truth. So you think we got time for one more, Karen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I got one. I got a good one here from Stephanie. So, how does a judge handle a dad who's nervous but's provided all the evidence? So, well, I guess we can kind of break that down in terms of, how do you think that reacts? How do you think that impacts things? And then maybe what can a parent do to calm their nerves? Because obviously this is one of the most stressful moments of their life.
Well, I don't know, what they mean by a dad who's nervous, if you mean that they're afraid to speak up or whatnot. But I think sometimes it depends on the judge. Some judges are great and they will start asking questions, or they'll tell them, do you need a minute? But not everybody, honestly, not everybody's going to be that way, so you've got to mentally prepare before you go in there, because if, I don't know how the person's expressing nervousness, but, I think that you could ask for a break and a judge would give you one. But they're also judging whether you can handle a child. So, it's really hard to say, because not all judges are really going to be compassionate about that. But, if you have an attorney, I would have your attorney ask for a break and sit next to you, take things slowly, try to refocus.
Yeah, I think I dead on there. I mean, there are some judges who are very empathetic and understand that you're under a lot of stress, and they'll help walk through it so they can get the information they need. If you realize your judge isn't one of those, like I said, I very few judges, at least if you do it once during your hearing, if you just say, Your Honor, can we take a brief break, are usually going to allow you to step outside, get a drink, catch your breath, try to calm your nerves. So that's some great advice from Karen there.